That's so much fun to say. Jayson Tatum, thank you for joining us, Jay, as the season gets started. Do you feel it? Do you feel like it's a new season?
Yeah, I feel like it. Obviously, it's a quick turnaround. And things are obviously a lot different. But, I miss hooping. So, a lot of other people, I'm just ready to be back.
Well, I was going to say it was a short off season. People barely had time to catch their breath, but you had time to do something very important. You signed a 5-year, $195 million extension with the Celtics. Obviously, that's a great referendum on what you have done so far in your career, but it's also an investment in you for the future. What type of pressure are you putting on yourself by signing this deal?
Yeah, I look forward as a partnership. Obviously, this is where I want to be for a very, very long time, and I was glad that we were able to make that happen. And what I do on the court, and be able to, inspire people and compete for championships is more important than, I guess the money and things like that. If you go out there and compete and accomplish all those things, the money will come. And, I'm super grateful for it. Obviously, it's life-changing, myself, Deuce and his kids. But, I'm more focused on basketball and just the love of the game in that aspect.
Well, I'm sure Celtics fans appreciate hearing you say that, but I still got to ask, did you make any big purchases? I mean, something you had to have given yourself for that deal.
No, I haven't got anything. I don't spend any of my NBA money. I save it all and invest it. So I only spend my endorsement money. So I'm still stacking that up.
That is a good strategy. I did want to ask you about your team because you've had guys in and out, right? Gordon Hayward's not there anymore. Kemba Walker not going to be able to start the season because he's taking care of that knee. How does that change things for you guys as you try to get off to a hot start here?
Yeah, I think it kind of has to elevate everyone else's game. Starting with myself and JB and Smart. We got to pick up the slack. And the new guys, we got T and Tristan. Veteran guys that have been doing this for a while. And even the rookies, everybody has to be ready to step up. These uncertain times. And, when we got some guys out, especially in the start of the season, we don't want to fall behind. We want to get off to a great start like everyone else. So we're just going to need more from everyone.
Well, I don't mean to invite you on here and then hit you with an investigative gotcha question. But, Jayson, I'm just going to go there. I am. Did you really grow 2 inches? Because Brad Stevens came out and told everyone that you went from 6'8" to 6'10". And we want to know the truth here at the Jump. We can handle the truth.
Nah, he said that last year. I think just after a game, something I might have looked 6'10", but that's growing my hair up. So hopefully that helped in my height.
I don't know. I like the back and forth you have with Donovan Mitchell over it. I guess you're kind of always growing and you're always a teenager still in the NBA. Do you have any butterflies for opening night, Jayson? Do you still get those?
Butterflies, yeah, I get excited. It's kind of like first day of school. I remember my first game in the NBA. I was a lot more nervous, but the excitement is still there. And I think that's where the butterflies come in, and I love playing this game, and thankful that we get another opportunity to do so.
I love it. Jayson, thank you so much. Best of luck to you guys this season. We'll be talking to you plenty. Always fun to have those guys drop by. Coming up, we're going to have our award prediction.
It was more about the Nets being great. It's not, look, the Warriors are not the only team that's going to get blown out by the Brooklyn Nets. It's going to be a lot of teams get blown out by them, Rachel. They are deep. Kyrie and KD are on a mission right now. Look, Kyrie could burn all the sage that he wants. He could sit Indian style. I don't care what he do off the court. When he get between those lines and he play this type of basketball, the Nets are going to be tough to beat. And I love what Steve Nash is doing right now by bringing Karis LeVert off the bench, because he could possibly win Sixth Man of the Year because he's a bucket.
Yes.
But look, the most important thing I was impressed about the ball movement. Guys were not playing my turn basketball. They were letting it go. They were flowing through the offense and not forcing anything. And by the way, on the defensive end, their energy was there, and it was set by Kevin Durant, blocking shots and taking charges. The Brooklyn Nets are really, really scary to anyone, but they're coming out of the East. I tell you that much.
Ooh, all right, Vince, what about you?
And say it, and I tell you, it could go either way. Depends on what side of the spectrum you're on. But I definitely think it's about the Brooklyn Nets and what they have to offer. And just think about this: the last 2 years, they made the playoffs, and they did not have Kevin Durant, and they did not have Kyrie Irving.
Right.
So now you're adding prolific superstars to this team, and all you need now is adjustment to getting these guys to buy in. I agree with bringing Karis LeVert off the bench as another scorer. So when you bring one of those guys, KD, Kyrie, out, and you bring Karis, and you still have two scorers, or you can put him in there and feature him by himself. So they have so many options. Defensively, they're very good. And you see, like you said, Kevin Durant has bought in and in position. And there was one situation where he missed a tag, a bump, and then he ended up getting a foul. Mm-hmm. And he said, and he admitted his wrong to the bench and to the coach. And I think that's the start, first of all, of a good defensive team. And players like that admitting their wrongs now can translate to good things later on down the line.
See, that's fascinating to me. I didn't catch that moment, Vince. I love hearing that, though, because one of the concerns about this Nets team, right, has been that defensively they're not as strong. They're not set up to be as strong as they are offensively. And can they bring that level up? Now, we saw with the Lakers last year, if you took the numbers of all the players the season previous, they didn't look like they would be a good defensive team. But guess what? Well, they buckled down and played great defense. And you think the Nets can do the same, Vince?
Well, Rachel, I'm going to say this. Even if they're not great individual defensive players, team defense is most important. What are your strengths that they have on their defense? They're shot blockers. So you just need to be solid, not get beat on the first dribble, and funnel everything down to your big guys, to your shot blockers. You have two elite shot blockers behind you, so you just need to be solid. You don't have to be locked down. You have to be a two-way player. But you just need to be solid and come up with the scheme that works for you. And you're going to make adjustments because you're going to play against special players. I understand that. But if you have a solid defensive system, good things can happen because offensively, like Perk said, they're going to blow out a lot of people. They're going to blow out a lot of people. They're going to outscore a lot of people. But when those close games come about, you just have to remain solid. Yes, some schemes are not going to work, but if you know that you have two shot blockers behind you, that should be comforting.
And one thing that we have to keep in mind is that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are NBA champions, so they know what it takes. And when I watched from the start of the game, Kyrie Irving took on the challenge of guarding Steph Curry. He guarded Steph Curry. He picked him up, and I said, you know what? This team is locked in. And that comes from being taught in Cleveland for Kyrie Irving. You look at Kevin Durant. I saw that he was locked in. I taught him well. And then also learning from Golden State. What people don't give Kevin Durant enough credit for is that he is a leader. He's a leader. So Steve Nash could hold Kevin Durant accountable, and Kevin Durant could accept it. Everyone else now could be held accountable by Steve Nash. And you could tell they was tied on one string defensively, and it was very impressive to watch.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating to see this develop. The Nets, of course, one of our Christmas Day teams. We've got our annual Christmas Day tradition here on ESPN and ABC. 5 amazing matchups available on the family of networks and the app. One of the games you'll see, Nets Celtics. I spoke to Celtics All-Star Jayson Tatum just a little bit ago. Take a listen.